Hello and welcome to another segment of Interviews That Matter. I'm your host Raj Mehta. Friends, in this segment, we bring those guests who influence our lives. This includes elected officials, policymakers, heads of major organizations, and other dignitaries. It is my sincere hope that the knowledge brought in by these guests will help our community. Today, our guest is Nassau County Police Commissioner Thomas Dale. Thomas Dale had a law enforcement career for a long time in New York City. He has been appointed in January and confirmed in March. Let's meet Commissioner Dale. Commissioner, welcome to the show, sir. Thank you so much for taking time. Really appreciate your time today.
Thank you very much for inviting me.
No problem. And you've been appointed by the legislator and County Executive Mangano about a few months ago. And obviously you're new to this Nassau County, although you got tremendous background in law enforcement. Can you just tell us what is that background? I mean, I know you've been involved in 9/11 and so forth. So,
I started in 1970 in the New York City Police Department.
Wow.
And from 1970 up until December 31st of last year, I was lucky enough to go from police officer to one of the top chiefs in the New York City Police Department. Mm-hmm. And I was involved in everything from, I was a detective, every rank. Mm-hmm. I was a member of the terrorism task force. I was involved with 9/11.
Okay.
And so I'm very proud of my positions that I had in the New York City Police Department. But what I like to talk about a little bit is that it's not only me, my whole family has been in the New York City Police Department going back to 1920s.
Wow.
When my family came here from Ireland back in the 1800s,
wow.
When they got off the boat, they went upstate. And when they went upstate, they were farmers. And they became farmers upstate. And then World War I happened.
Right.
So all the men were drafted. They fought in Europe in World War I. When they came back, they didn't go back upstate, they settled in Brooklyn.
Okay.
In 1920, and my grandfather became a fireman, and my great uncle became a policeman. And ever since that time, there's been somebody in the New York City Police Department and the fire department who's been a member of my family. And I even take pride in saying that my son was a member of the New York City Police Department, and a couple of years ago he switched over to the Port Authority Police Department. So I have a family background, and I also have a lot of experience on every level in police work.
Wow.
From walking the beat to managing. My last position in the police department, I was the chief of personnel.
Okay.
And for Commissioner Kelly, I did all the hiring, did all the firing, did the discipline, and all the transfers. So I had a major responsibility to help him manage and run the police department. So I take a lot of pride in where I was. And I'm hoping, and I am using a lot of that experience since I arrived here in New York, in Nassau County.
Right. So you have it in your blood, actually.
I think so.
I think so. That's great.
I still have I know everybody says this, but if you do what you like, you never work. And I still have that same fire in my stomach when I get up in the morning today to come to work for the Nassau County Police Department that I had back on July 15th, 1970. I feel the same way. I feel ready to go every morning. So I feel very happy that God gave me that gift that I have to enjoy what I do.
Best way to work.
Yeah, absolutely.
I agree with
absolutely.
you, 110%. Same thing happens when I come here.
Exactly.
It's my passion.
Exactly.
It's my passion, and I love it.
That's the way I feel about it, 200%. Exactly the same.
Great, great. So, a few months already passed in Nassau County, and as soon as you came in, what were the challenges? I mean, I'm sure there are a lot of challenges.
There are a lot of challenges, but when I first came in, the biggest challenge is for any police commissioner is crime. Crime is something that's what the public counts on us to do. They count on us to keep them safe, to keep crime down, and to provide services when there's, God forbid, there's a car accident or somebody gets sick. But crime is our major issue. So that's a concern of mine. When I came here, burglaries are going up. So we're attacking the burglary problem right now as we speak. So that was crime is and will always be any police commissioner's #1 issue. Another issue that was a little different here when I came to Nassau County was the lab. The laboratory, we had some issues with the lab, and what happened was we lost the ability to have our own lab. The state attorney general decided to take our laboratory and switch it over to the medical examiner's office. So that was an issue that is very difficult for us to deal with, because we bring in the evidence every day. We bring in fingerprints, we bring in blood samples, narcotics every day. So we have to work out a major system to keep that flow of evidence going from the street to be checked to the courts. So that's another big issue that still affects us every day. So those were kind of some of the really major things that I was dealing with when I came in.
Okay. And do you plan to make any changes to the police department as it was? What are your plans, rather?
Well, I have a lot of plans. I have a lot of plans, but you can't go too fast. You have to take your time and take one step at a time. So what my major plan right now is the realignment of the precincts.
Okay.
So we're going from 8 precincts, we're going down to 4 precincts.
Okay.
And that's been a major focus that I first started when I got here, when we came up with the plan, and now we're in the process of actually implementing the plan. As we speak right now, we're halfway done. We have 4 more precincts to combine, and we'll be finished. So we're on target. I set timelines. We're meeting those goals. And so that's my major focus, and that's the biggest change that's happening in the Nassau County Police Department. And so far, I'm very proud to say that it's going along very well. None of our crime is going up. None of our response time is going up. So we're doing quite well with a lot less. And I also want to say that the men and women of the Nassau County Police Department, the officers, are doing a tremendous job in the fact that there's less and less of them to do the work. And they're still out there every day doing a job for the citizens of Nassau County. So I have a lot of pride and a lot of good feelings that I have going through me right now as the commissioner. And that's just like one major issue that's going to affect us down the road, and it'll be fine.
Right. I mean, we've been, watching the newspapers all the time that, people don't feel comfortable with, they don't have a police precinct around them. And that's kind of a, general feeling.
Yes.
And they are like afraid that, okay, well, what if something happens? So.
And I felt, believe it or not, when I did this plan, the first order I ever gave in the Nassau County Police Department was to tell my staff when they come in to help me develop this plan, safety is our #1 issue. Security of Nassau County is the #1 issue. And I know from being a member of the New York City Police Department for many years, how sometimes when we would close a firehouse, and I would see people literally laying down in front of a firehouse, wouldn't move. We had to pull them away so we could take the fire trucks out. And I know that people are attached to precincts. And believe it or not, none of the precincts are leaving. They're staying, and we're putting people in them. There will be many people in these precincts that are now called policing centers. We're not moving the buildings. We're just taking a lot of the administrative staff and putting the administrative staff out in the street, and that's how we're doing it. In Nassau County, it's different than you see on TV. On television, you see that when an officer comes to work, they go to the precinct, and they get instructions by the sergeant, and then they salute and they walk out the door and they go into their cars or walk to their post. That doesn't happen in Nassau County. In Nassau County, what happens is an officer comes to work and he goes to a back of a booth, a police booth. He or she goes to a back of a firehouse or a library, and they meet the person who had the post before them. So now they change in the street. They don't go to the precinct.
They don't go to the precinct at all.
Nobody goes to the precinct to turn out. Now, how they get their information and how they get knowledge of what's going on, every police car in Nassau County has a computer in it. And it's on the internet. It has everything from Windows to you say whatever it is, we have it. And they get their information. They could write their traffic reports on it. They take everything is done in the car.
Okay.
If we're looking for wanted people, they could go on and look for people that we want. So we give them a lot of information comes over that computer. So that's where our police officers get a lot of their training and information from. So we don't need that precinct just for the purposes of turning out. We turn out in the street. It's not like TV.
Okay.
So that's a big difference for us out here, a very big difference. And we took advantage of that in our new strategy to realign the precincts.
So in the city, they do it the way you just mentioned. Like
In the city, it's television. You'll see,
Right.
you'll see a desk, you'll see a big desk,
Yeah.
and you'll see officers in front of it, and they'll be given instructions by a supervisor, and then they'll all walk out the door. We don't do that here. They haven't done it here in years, in 100 years.
Wow. Okay.
So it's a big difference here, and that's one of the things we took advantage of.
So then it's a better, because then you don't have to worry about you're going to save money actually by moving the administration.
We anticipate somewhere between $15 and $20 million a year,
Wow.
a recurring savings every year by doing this.
Okay.
That's a good savings for the Nassau County Police Department and the residents of Nassau County. And right now, as I said before, we're not seeing any reduction in our services to the public, which is really a very important thing for us.
So Commissioner Kelly may take some advice from you, I guess, later on.
I don't
to
think
do the
so.
same thing
You
over
never know.
there.
You never know. You never know.
Commissioner, we'll take a short break and we'll be right back.
Okay.
Yeah. Welcome back. My name is Raj Mehta, and we are having a conversation with Nassau County Police Commissioner Thomas Dale. Welcome, Commissioner.
Thank you very much.
Recent event in movie theater, shooting in the movie theater. 12 people died and a lot of people injured. And I mean, what is your reaction to that? I mean, that's crazy. That's kind of, what kind of a person would have that kind of a mentality who would do this type of thing? And how do you prevent from happening here in our neighborhood?
Right. First of all, it's a horrible incident, and I just can't even imagine somebody doing something like that. It's horrible. We have to say prayers for the people who were hurt, and hopefully the people will recover, and I think that's where what we have to do with a lot of that. But as far as preventing it, it's very difficult to prevent an incident like that. But there are certain things we could do as a community and a police department to help prevent it.
Okay.
And some of those things are, if you see something, say something. If you see somebody walking around, getting into his car with all sorts of camouflage on, with a rifle, call the police right away. Call 911 right away. In Nassau County, we have what we call an active shooter training.
Okay.
And we give the active shooter training to all of the schools, grammar schools, high schools and colleges, both public and private. And what it does is it trains the administrators to deal with an event like this. What to do. You have to have a plan. If you have a plan to deal with something like this, you can save lives. And we have done this throughout Nassau County. And the main thing is, guns. I think sometimes that there's a lot of guns out in the street, and we have to do more to get guns off the street. It's very, very important. I know it's a very sensitive issue, but there's too many guns out in the street.
So mayor had New York City mayor had a crazy idea, crazy means, it was an idea that all the police officers should go on strike until legislators are forced to put a gun control as a legislator. What do you think about that?
Well, he's a very smart man, and I like him very much. And it's one way to get somebody to do something, but I don't know if I could endorse that right now.
I know safety is #1 issue anyway.
Safety is the #1 issue, no matter what you do.
Right.
Yes.
So now, Nassau County. I mean, obviously, you're there for like about 4 months, 5 months, something like that. And in a major event, if something has to happen, major event, then obviously you have to coordinate with Suffolk County, you coordinate with the city. So Nassau County Police is quite capable, or you're doing drills and everything, you're going on all the time?
Yes.
And plans are there already?
Yes. We just recently we had one of the biggest dangers we have here in Nassau County, I believe, is crime, but we also are very subject to hurricanes and storms and surges of water. That's a very crucial piece for people, something that happens here in the county. We recently had we have an OEM, Office of Emergency Management, here in Nassau County. We train with all the different agencies in Nassau County, from the Department of Public Works to the Fire Department. We bring in the Coast Guard, we bring in the FBI, we bring in every agency that does any business here in Nassau County, and we train for hurricanes, what to do. In addition to that, there is a liaison that exists between the Nassau County Police Department, the Suffolk County Police Department, and the City Police Department. I have officers that are assigned to the Terrorism Task Force. So does Suffolk County, and so does the city. We have officers assigned to Homeland Security in Nassau County. So does Suffolk, and so does the city. So we work together at certain levels. In addition, we always communicating on the phone. We talk about, because some incidents run from one county to another, so we have to stay in communication. Some of our officers on the borders have radios with the city. We now have radios in Nassau that we could flip over and hear on what's going on the other side of the border on New York City. And we give them some of our radios. So we have a very close relationship from highest up to the officer that's actually in the street. We all communicate when we have to. But there's a very good relationship. If we don't stick together, the bad guys win.
That's right. Exactly.
If we try to do our own thing here, we'll lose the war on crime. We're not going to lose that war. As long as I'm here, we're not going to lose that war.
There you go.
We're going to work together.
And after you, your son will be here. So
there you go.
Fine.
And my grandson.
We are fine.
And my grandson.
And your grandson. So we are fine with that. Yeah, but that brings me a question of technology. Obviously, technology helps a lot, in terms of communication, because communication is the key. Between police and between the territories and all that. So you think you have covered all bases in technology?
No, in my opinion, you can never cover all bases in technology. The main reason is because I feel it changes so quickly. We have what we consider a state-of-the-art intelligence center in our police academy in Massapequa. And we have a very sophisticated computer system that helps us understand what's happening with crime. It allows us to analyze the crime and then deploy the resources where they should be most efficiently deployed. We have that ability right now, but it's getting better and better every day. So yes, technology is the way to go with crime. There's no doubt about it.
Right. That's how you can, know right away what's happening and all that.
You know right away what's happening, and you have less resources. You could use the technology to help you address these serious conditions with less people. You're smarter. You're smarter at what you're doing. And that's what we're trying to achieve, to get smarter every day by using technology. It's very difficult at this day and age, but there's a way to do it. And you have to take advantage of the internet. One of the best ways to find out what's happening in Nassau County is to go to the Nassau County Police Department website. You could find all the different events going on in the county. You could find ways to little programs that we have that we want to give to the community. So just by going onto the internet, you can definitely stay close to us. In addition, you could go to the precinct. I think each community should go in and introduce themselves to the precinct commander. To let them know who they are. We have a lot of different community affairs programs for children in the Nassau County Police Department, and I encourage the community to join those programs, such as the Explorer program. Our Explorer program is made up of young men and women from I think it's 14 to 17 years of age, and they're involved with law enforcement. Our officers teach them things about law enforcement. And recently they just went to Fort Collins, Colorado for their Olympics, and they won the drill team. #1 in the country drill team. And there was 35 teams involved, and they came out #1. So very, very proud of them. So there are many ways that the community should stay in touch with us, because we have to work together. If we don't work together, the bad guys win. So I need the community to tell us what's going on. We need to know what's happening, and the best way to do that is to get to know your commanding officer, get to know us on the internet, come to some of our meetings, come to our seminars that we have, and be part of us, be part of the, we're part of the community and you're part of the community. We should be together.
So largely, they should really like connect with PD, police department, and
Yes.
somehow people should take first step, basically. That's what
We can't reach out to everybody every
Right.
day. We try
Right.
that by the internet.
Right.
We put our hand out, put the internet's our hand. Here we are. Grab it and we'll pull you in.
Okay, great.
That type of thing.
Okay. Now, like we have a large number of South Asian in Nassau County, obviously, and you already said that you're working on burglary. Burglary is the biggest issue with South Asian population, and I mean, I'm sure you're doing whatever needs to be done, because I know my friend just got burglarized about a few weeks ago, and it was kind of awful experience going into a house which was burglarized.
Yes.
So.
Well, what we're doing, we found with
Right.
burglary this year, which is a little different than we saw before.
Okay.
When you grew up and I grew up, nobody would burglarize. You wouldn't burglarize if you were a burglar, or I was a burglar, you wouldn't go to your neighbor's house and steal his property. You wouldn't
Right.
do it.
Right.
You would go somewhere else, another community, and do it. We're not finding that anymore.
Uh-huh.
We're finding that because of the use of prescription drugs,
Mm-hmm.
that we have kids using prescription drugs. They go in their parents' medicine cabinet and they take the drugs, and when the parents take it away, they burglarize their own neighborhood
Wow. Wow.
because they know their neighborhood.
Okay.
And we'll catch, we've never done this before, catch a young man or woman burglarizing 3 or 4 houses on his own block. Very unusual.
Interesting.
So the prescription drugs has really caused us a problem with burglaries. The other issue that's really big with the burglaries, it's a financial issue, and that's the price of metals. The price of metals has gone through the roof. Gold is very expensive. It's over $1,500 an ounce or something, and people are stealing everything metal.
Ah, okay.
You have a copper, in some neighborhoods they have copper leaders and gutters, steal them.
Wow.
You have brass, they steal brass. People have brass lamps at cemeteries. And because of the financial situation that's going on with the price of metals,
Right.
we're seeing that in addition to the regular professional burglars. So we have couple of different enemies that we're fighting on that front. And it's very difficult, but we have confidence that our plans will be successful. And hopefully by the end of the year, we'll have all the burglaries down.
Good, good. That's what we want, actually.
Yes.
Not easy to come to a house, and then somebody came into your house.
It's terrible.
good feeling.
You
It's not a
feel
good
your
feeling.
stomach it turns. It's a terrible feeling.
Right. Commissioner, this year is a presidential election, obviously, and we have a Republican candidate, Mitt Romney, and President Obama is again running. What do you think of that election? What do you think of election, and what is your advice to both of them?
Well, the election, I think it's great. Every 4 years we have a presidential election in this country. We've been having it for the last 100 years. And they both have a lot of work on their plate. I mean, there's financial issues, there's all sorts of issues that are out here that we have to address, overseas issues, and it's a big, big job. And I hope that the best man wins. And I know that will happen because that usually happens in our country.
Right.
As you know, we have a great system, and the system usually elects the best man.
Right.
And may the best man win.
Well, I mean, I know we have a lot to talk, but 25 minutes is our limit.
Oh, okay.
So we can't really go on too much, but if you have your final message to the South Asian community.
My message is that stay together, stay as a community, be proud of your community, stay in touch with us. Please come to us, be part of us, the Nassau County Police Department, and stay safe.
Okay. Thank you so much. Really appreciate your time, sir.
Thank you.
So much. Appreciate
Nice
it.
to talk to you.
Thank you. Thank you.